whatever the truth is, your perception on how you see that truth outweighs it 10 to 1. So it's a motivation and why you're doing it. You know, it's in the journey of getting in shape. It's a long run, right? But what the person who's standing at the end with their hand raised isn't the person with all the genetics. It isn't the person with the most potential. It's the person that has the greatest perseverance, that's always willing to get up. The difference between a champion and a loser is that they both fail. It's that the loser allows the failure to stand for life. With a champion, even though he gets knocked on his ass, finds the fortitude to stand back up, reface that endeavor until it becomes his favorite, until he wins. That's the difference. Champions get back up and do it again. And the difference between someone that's successful here or someone's a spectator here is that a person that's successful, they believe in themselves so much, and their belief overrides any crowd's disbelief.
I believe in me. If you stop believing in me, I'm not going to believe in myself any less. If you believe that I'm irrelevant, that no one is checking for me, and that I don't mean anything to the world, because you think or believe that about me, it doesn't mean that I'm going to believe it about myself. See, the day that you start living your life according to everybody else's opinion is the beginning of the end.
You really have to believe the internet's going to be mainstream. A lot of people are going to get out there and use it, and that they're going to be willing to pay for some content.
Is that the operating idea that you have?
Well, each of these businesses is an entrepreneurial business. The overreaching theme is that, yes, I believe in the internet. I believe it'll get increasingly popular, and we're doing some neat new things to take advantage of that.
You've got a lot of cash on hand, yes?
Right.
All right. It puts you in an enviable position. You can experiment with a lot of entrepreneurial ideas and see what sticks and what flies.
Well, we're in business to make money,
but the other thing is providing such a cash flow for you.
Well, it all belongs to the shareholders.
Yeah.
We're not dilettantes.
No, I know.
We are business people, and it is true that if you find an idea that requires 3 or 4 years of improvement and patience and really sticking with it, that we're very good at that. Take Windows, which we bet our company on. Everybody doubted that would succeed. IBM did not support us in that. It took longer than we expected, over 4 years before finally graphical interface got popular, and now people take it for granted. It's part of every personal computer, and you just expect it to be there. That was one of the grand successes of the company. In the same way, we're betting on the internet, that our tools there will be popular, and that a few of these content plays that we've decided to get involved in, that the scale and the users will make those into great businesses.
Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been, and they can't see the possibility of it being any different. Example, before April 1954, the common belief, the universal belief, because it had been tried again and again and again, and people had failed, the belief was that man was not physically capable of breaking the 4-minute barrier, that he could not run a mile in less than 4 minutes. That was the belief on the planet. It had never been done. But here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Bannister came along, and he broke the 4-minute barrier. Now, here's what's significant about that. Since that time, up to this day, over 20,000 people have done it, including high school kids. What changed? 20,000 people, what changed? Here's what happened when they got on the track. They knew it had been done. And because they knew it had been done, there was a new belief about this barrier, about this goal that was unreachable. And those 20,000 people got in a race believing, knowing in their heart that someone had done it, that it's possible, that they could do it. And I'm saying that if you know anybody that had some goal, some dream, something they wanted to do, and they did it, then I'm saying that you know in your heart that if someone has done it, then you can do it. It's possible. And that if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible.
I want to have a big impact, and I know I can help people on a small scale. I know I can help you with the videos, and the videos are taking off, and everything I've done is, it's growing quickly, but I want it to be bigger, right? I want it to be life-changing on a world scale. And I don't always believe that I can do it because I've never done it before, because it seems like such a big goal. And I'm writing a book right now, and I want it to be an important book. I want it to be one of the top 10 most read, most valuable business books of all time. And that's an easy goal to say, right? Anybody can say, I want to have this book to be the top 10 book. Anybody can say that. But who actually believes that, right? Do I actually believe that I can write that book? Because if I don't, I'm not going to write that book. And when I'm talking to people, I'm not going to get them excited. And there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance or cockiness, but that's the challenge that I'm going through right now, is believing that I can create this amazing book. And when I'm talking to Jessica Alba and saying, hey, you're a superhero in the movies, but you should be a superhero in real life as well. You could be a superhero for entrepreneurs and help them and be a model for success through your honest company. I have to do that with a lot of confidence. I have to do that believing that this is truth.
I conduct sales seminars, and I've heard all kind of guys doing techniques and training people techniques of how to close sales and how to work with and begin to control the sale and how to ask for the close. Let me share something with you. You can learn all the techniques in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, it won't happen for you. I learned all of it. So that's why I do a training called Focus on the Seller. You've got to focus on you. And as you convince you, as you sell yourself every day, you will begin to see a difference in the things that you're doing. Selling yourself on your ability to perform a job, to achieve a certain objective. Telling yourself every day, here I go again. And I got what it takes. This is my day, and nothing out here is going to stop me.
Stripping that all back to the start of your career, a man with a dream, training in the gym day in, day out. If somebody said to you, you'll have or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you had said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Yeah,
I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say, you're damn right.
Your brain is like a circuit switch. Once you believe you are something, you actually embody it. You embody that feeling. If you were, God forbid, in a coma, and you woke up and you didn't really have a memory, and you were told that you used to be a Navy SEAL, and they want you back now when you're healthy, do you think you'd act differently and hold yourself differently, conduct yourself different, and have a different self-concept of who you are than if you were told you were a piano instructor? Being successful in life is all about having the proper belief system in who you are. Truly believing that you are something unique, that you are something special in that field.
What does it take to bounce back?
You got to believe you can win. Otherwise, you'll never get over that shit. You got to believe. You got to believe in what you do. I mean, most guys, when they get knocked out, they never come back.
Yeah.
But in order to come back, so in order to come back, you have to believe in yourself.
No human being makes it alone. You just can't.
Sure.
You cannot make it alone. You have to believe in something or have someone believe in you. Sure. In order for you to have a foundation to even know yourself, you have to have something to reflect against. to even begin to come to understand yourself as a human being. So I grew up with a grandmother, raising myself. Yeah. Raising me this exact same way I see girls here being raised. I mean, the only difference was it was Mississippi, it was not KwaZulu-Natal.
Sure.
Right. It was not a rendezvous. It was a, shotgun house with a couple of rooms. I slept in the bed with my grandmother, raised by my grandmother, that whole story. I won't even tell you that thing. Grew up poor, no running water, the whole thing. Which was very familiar to me when I walked through the villages of Africa.
Saw it all over again.
Saw it all over again. I thought, okay, that looks familiar to me.
Sure.
But my grandmother instilled in me this belief in God. She was prayerful, she was religious. And I wanted to know this God. I wanted to know, what is this God? So as a kid, I was always told God was my father. He is your father, he is your heavenly father. And I didn't know my father. I'd never met my father till I was, I think I met him, but don't remember him until I was 8 years old, when I was sent to live with him. So up until I was 8 years old, the only father I knew was God. I believed what I was told. And I would sit in the service, like second pew, every Sunday, listening to the minister like he was feeding my soul. And I would take it all in. And I would go, God is my father. Oh, through God, I can do all things. Jesus Christ is my brother. God is...
So personalized.
I personalized God for myself. I had a personal relationship. I felt very much connected to that. And so believing that I could do all things, I never believed, that's what I believed. So when other people told me what I couldn't do, what I couldn't be, what wasn't possible because I was a colored girl in Mississippi, I didn't believe that. Why? Because God is my daddy.
Right.
And so having that as a fundamental core belief that there is a power greater than myself, and that if I will align with that power, the energy of that, that I can do and I can be anything. That is my fundamental core belief. Now, I think Acts 17, don't know the verse, maybe 42 or 27. In God, I move and breathe and have my being. That is my favorite Bible verse. And when I am afraid, when I am nervous, when I am challenged, when I feel defeated, when I feel overwhelmed, when I feel stressed, I repeat that to myself. In God, I move and breathe and have my being.
Things that's so fascinating to me is that Amazon and Jeff Bezos have pursued what might be described as a very asset-heavy business model. They're buying airplanes. They want to own the entire supply chain from beginning to end. And Alibaba has effectively an asset-light business. It is very much, in terms of the retail piece of this, the opposite. You don't want to own the warehouses. You don't want to own the logistics companies. How do you think about that? Is Jeff Bezos right, or are you right? And is there going to be a meeting in the middle?
I hope both are right. And because the world can never have one model. If the world has only one correct model, the world is too boring. Right? We need to have all kinds of models. And the people who do the model should believe in the model. And I believe what I do. Right? The difference between Amazon and us. Amazon is more like an empire. Everything they should control themselves, buy and sell. And our philosophy is that we want to be an ecosystem. Our philosophy is to empower others to sell, empower others to service, empower making sure the other people are more powerful than us. Making sure with our technology, our innovation, our partners, our 10 million small business sellers, they can compete with Microsoft, IBM. Our philosophy is that we think using internet technology, we can make every company become Amazon.